Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video we have some pretty big news for World of Warcraft fans, good or bad, I guess, depending on your view of it. But World of Warcraft will be playable on the next gen Xbox console that will come out. So in a report from Windows Central, they reveal the next gen Xbox console will be able to run the Battle.net store in World of Warcraft. Now, of course, even if you aren't for this, I am very for this, and we'll get into why. But even if you weren't for this, if you actually read the article, what you'll find out is that the next Xbox is going to run Windows on it, and you'll be able to choose to just run on Windows. Like you'll be able to choose to run on the normal Xbox configuration or whatever, OS you want to call it, or you can go to like the Windows mode. And in Windows mode, you'll be able to run things like Battle.net. And then, so you'll basically be playing on a PC, right? You'll be playing on Windows still. So before you get your all twisted up about it, you're just going to be playing on Windows, essentially. So with a controller, you can already play with a controller as it is. Some people, I mean, I've really been interested in maybe trying to get into that myself, playing with a controller, especially if they take some of the buttons down. I like gaming on a controller personally. So I would be interested in it, at least trying it out. And I've seen other people, even at fairly high end, try it out and succeed as well. So I actually think this is great news. This is great news for a lot of reasons. It touches on something that is difficult to talk about because, at least the way I was raised, you're not really supposed to talk about, other people's money and stuff like that, right? And I do think that's true, right? Like it's not none of your business. And, some people are poor, some people are kind of poor, some people are like lower middle class, upper middle class, rich, and then super wealthy. And you have all these different groups of people, and we all interact, and some of us buy the same things as the other and prioritize different things, right? But one thing I at least mention a lot, I don't talk about a lot, but I do mention it here and there, especially when talking about like returning players and stuff like that, is the cost, right? So to run World of Warcraft really well, you do actually need a pretty high-end PC to do that, right? And and hopefully maybe that can get tailored in the future, but I doubt it. But you kind of do need that to run WoW at a high level. At least you don't have to run it at a high level, but it does dissuade people from wanting to play because they don't have that high level PC, or their PC breaks and they can't afford to replace it, right? And it's just a reality. The reason why games like League of Legends have so many players is because you can run it on a potato. It's the same reason why Classic has so many beloved players, is because they can still run it on older computers. They don't have to sink $3,000 into a PC or $2,000 into a PC to continue playing the game. It can run on a really old computer. Like you can play Classic WoW on a 15-year-old computer right now, and still play it fairly decently without the computer messing up or whatever. And that's just the reality. And League of Legends, kind of the same thing. A lot of games like that. A lot of their popularity is because you can play them on such old systems, right? Even Fortnite, like Fortnite became super popular, but you can still play Fortnite on the older Xboxes and stuff. You don't have to even have the new one or older consoles or older whatever. Some of these games, they don't have a ton of strain on your computer or on your console, and you can play them. And I think this is going to be very good. It's going to allow a lot more players to play. I think the perception is, well, if it's a console, it's not like, it's kind of like an elitist thing, right? Where, oh, I'm only a PC gamer. But the reality is, those things are kind of merging, right? If the new Xbox might suck, by the way. I have no faith in Xbox. I'm an Xbox fan, like for what it's worth, where I was, but I have no faith after the last, I don't even know what it was called, the Xbox Series S or Series X or whatever. I looked into getting that multiple times and I could not justify it because it was crap, right? And so the new one might be crap too. But let's say it's not. Let's say it's decent or whatever, and you can play PC games on it. Well, it's going to be a hit, first of all, because the price point, it's going to be fairly low. It's going to be very streamlined. It's going to be built in a way, to be very streamlined, to be able to play games and stuff, right? And they're going to play on like the lower graphics modes and stuff like that, I'm sure, for certain PC games. but that the point of it's going to be that, and it's going to be a lower price point to get into gaming than like buying a high end PC is. So if they pull it off, right? And again, maybe they don't pull it off. Maybe it's a big colossal failure. That's very possible. I'm not here to argue for the success of Xbox or Microsoft. I'm here to say that in the best case scenario, this is actually very good for World of Warcraft. It's very good for the game because it's just going to have a lot more players that want to play. It's going to be so many more players. There's going to be new players. There's going to be returning players. There's going to be younger players coming into the game, by the way. A lot of kids think World of Warcraft looks cool when they see it. Like, I can speak for my own sons. My 3-year-old loves, he can't really play, right? But what he can do is he gets on he gets on my other son's character and he runs around. I'll have him go to like a very low level place, right? And he'll just walk around with the he can use the mouse to walk around, but I try to encourage him to use the arrow key because he messes up the camera too much with the mouse. And he walks around with the arrow keys, and then I taught him just to hit like number 1 for it just does judgment and will one shot anything in the low level area. And he walks up to it and he says, "You want to fight me?" And he walks close to it so it aggroes him, and then he turns to it and then he hits 1 and goes one shot. It's hilarious. But kids in general, they think WoW looks cool, so like I think it'd be great. And with all the new rules and the TOS and all this stuff for Warcraft, I think at least more than when it was when I was a teenager. It's like a safer place, at least for teenagers to play. Like I wouldn't recommend your small child playing online with other people necessarily unless you heavily monitor them. But teenagers, I think, is probably fine. I was playing with them when I was a teenager. A lot of people were, and I think it's more strict now than then. So it's probably fine to play as like a teenager or something. But you're gonna get more and more people playing it. People think it looks cool, but they don't have an opportunity to play it. That's another thing that happens. I mean, I've had family. I've known people who are like, yeah, I just don't have a PC. I've always wanted to try World of Warcraft, but I never tried it. I hear that a lot because they just don't have a computer to run it on, right? Plus the sub costs and stuff like that. With this being said, they probably would be included in Battle Pass in some way or something. Would be my guess. That's just a theory, but maybe not. Maybe you'd still have to get the sub to it. That's completely possible. They have like World of Warcraft can stand on its own, so it can dictate that if it wants to, I suppose. Well, I mean, it's going to be up to Microsoft, of course, but we'll see where it goes with that aspect of it. But it should just attract a lot more players, a lot of new players, younger players, and you know what? Some of the older elitist players, I'd be fine if they left the game because. Like if like 10,000 elitist players want to leave and like 100,000 new players come in, I say by all means let's do that because we could use some more fresh blood. There's actually more new players in World of Warcraft than you would imagine. I have that Murloc thing where I can see new players or whatever. The guide, I unlocked the guide thing back when they introduced that. A lot of people don't even know about it. There's a lot more new players than you think. Now, yes, some of those are bots if you have it unlocked and you see them like in Stormwind or something walking around. But I'm talking about actually out in the world questing and leveling up. There's more new players than you think. Like just it blows my mind every time. Occasionally I'll do stuff in the old world, whether for a video or I have something I'm trying to get or something like that. And the amount of the new players I see is especially when you think that the new players is 0. So if there's like hundreds of new players, that's like surprising to you, that at least to me. And so, I think this will just only benefit that, only increase that. And so I'm all for this. I myself would play on this. Like, so I'm not, like I said at the beginning, or in the middle, whatever. I don't have any trust in Xbox at this point, but after the Xbox comes out and if everyone says it's good and I trust it, I would buy an Xbox and play WoW on Xbox. It's fine. Like, and maybe what I should look to do since I already have a computer is, look to playing on a controller or whatever and try to set that up. Especially right now, there's too many buttons for me. I don't want to. There's ways to do it with all the modifiers with the bumpers and stuff, but I would probably wait until they pruned everything down, whether that's at midnight or whatever. But I would be totally down for it because I like the gameplay personally, right? I like the way it feels. I like the way that it moves. I like the old graphics. That's what I like about WoW. I love the gameplay of it, and the gameplay doesn't change necessarily just because you have less buttons. I don't care if I don't have, like for example, I wouldn't really care if I didn't have blessing and protection anymore, as long as there wasn't anything I need blessing for protection for. Like, I use it occasionally. Sometimes it's good in raid. It can remove bleeds, but maybe cleanse can just remove bleeds now or something. I don't know, right? There's other ways around it. Like, I don't need all these different spells in my opinion, but that's just me. Overall though, I wanted to talk about this because this is big news. This has been something that's been being thought about for a while. It's important to read the article, as I said. Hopefully that didn't go over anyone's head. If you read the article, you access Windows on the new Xbox, and that's how you're able to play a game like World of Warcraft, is through Windows still. So it's just the new Xbox is basically a PC, right? So that's just kind of the way you have to think about it. And yeah, I'm all for this. I'm very, very happy about it. And who knows? I didn't read the original article. I just read the Wowhead article. The Wowhead article mentions the part I mentioned, but maybe in the original article they mentioned when. I doubt it though. But whenever this will be, I encourage it. I welcome it, and I'm all for it, man. This is kind of cool news, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And I hope the new Xbox is good, right? Because of this. I was always a fan of the Xbox before I ever had a PC, and I hope the new Xbox is good. So we'll see on that front. But if it is, then this is probably going to be very good news for World of Warcraft. Even if you're somebody who maybe on its surface doesn't like the news, you might change your mind if the Xbox is actually good and people actually buy it, because this will be really cool for that. So that's it for this one. Just want to keep you updated on the news. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. If you're already a subscriber, I encourage you to check out the Patreon. Other than that, everybody have a good one.